10 small habits that will change your life forever. Ladies and gentlemen, within each of us lies an extraordinary power, the power to transform our lives, not through grand gestures or sudden fortune, but through the steady accumulation of small, deliberate habits. The destiny you seek is not the result of chance, but the outcome of consistent choices made every single day. Imagine a sculptor shaping a masterpiece, chipping away one tiny fragment at a time. So it is with your life. The habits you embrace, however small, are the chisel and hammer that carve the future you desire. Here are 10 small habits, simple yet profound, that, when mastered, will ignite an unstoppable momentum in your life and elevate you toward your greatest potential. Habit number 1. Begin each day with purpose. Start your morning by clearly defining what you intend to achieve. A goal without direction is like a ship without a rudder. Plant your vision firmly at dawn and carry it like a torch throughout the day. Habit number 2. Practice gratitude relentlessly in every circumstance. Find reasons to be thankful. Gratitude is the soil in which happiness grows. It rewires your mind to see opportunity where others see obstacles. Habit number 3. Read daily, even if just for 10 minutes. Knowledge is the seed of power. The mind that feeds on wisdom grows sharper and bolder. Small daily learning compounds into extraordinary insight. Habit number 4. Master your emotions. Self-control is the key to freedom. Train yourself to respond to challenges with calm and clarity. The storms you endure today will reveal your strength tomorrow. Habit number 5. Take consistent action. Dreams remain dreams without action. Even the smallest step forward is progress. Let your determination outpace your doubts. Habit number 6. Visualize your success. See yourself victorious, not once but repeatedly. Visualization programs your subconscious to work tirelessly for your success, even when you rest. Habit number 7. Surround yourself with positive influences. Your environment shapes your mind. Seek those who inspire and challenge you. Avoid the drain of negativity that weakens resolve. Habit number 8. Review and reflect. Each evening, evaluate your day, what worked, what did not. Reflection sharpens your judgment and prepares you to rise stronger tomorrow. Habit number 9. Practice kindness daily. The strength of your character is revealed not in power, but in generosity. Kindness opens doors, builds trust, and expands your influence. Habit number 10. Commit to lifelong growth. Life's greatest secret is that learning never ends. Embrace change, seek improvement, and never settle for mediocrity. You may think these habits are small, but greatness is built from small bricks laid day after day. The man or woman who masters these simple disciplines holds the keys to a life of fulfillment, success, and joy. Remember, the journey of transformation begins with a single step. Take that step today, and in time you will stand amazed at how far you have come. Your life will not just change, it will be forever transformed. Consistency in small habits leads to monumental change. There exists in the human spirit a principle so powerful, yet so often overlooked, that it quietly determines the difference between those who merely dream and those who achieve. This principle is consistency, the unwavering, steadfast commitment to doing the small things day after day, regardless of immediate results or fleeting moods. Greatness is not born in a single moment of inspiration. It is forged in the daily rituals, the humble actions repeated with discipline and purpose. The small habits, when performed once or twice, seem insignificant, almost trivial. But when those same actions are performed relentlessly, they build invisible bridges to success, brick by brick, until one day you awaken and realize you stand on the foundation of something extraordinary. Consider the river that carves through mountains, not by force, but by persistent flow over time. The power of water lies in its unyielding motion. Just so, the person who harnesses the power of consistent effort, no matter how small the steps, will ultimately break through obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. It is the quiet force behind every triumph, the student who studies a little each day until knowledge becomes mastery, the athlete who trains daily until the body responds without thought, the entrepreneur who makes a call or sends an email every day, building momentum toward a thriving venture. Consistency demands patience and faith. It requires the resolve to press forward when enthusiasm wanes and the courage to continue even when the world offers no applause. But those who persevere understand this truth deeply. Monumental change is the sum of countless small acts performed faithfully. The universe rewards persistence. Every small habit, repeated without fail, sends a signal to the mind and body that this is your chosen path. It rewires your character, strengthens your will, and shapes your destiny. So do not underestimate the power of the small things done consistently. Let your actions be steady and deliberate. Let your will be unshakable. For it is in the quiet, relentless forging of habits that the grandest success is born and sustained. Purpose-driven mornings set the tone for success. The beginning of each day holds a sacred power, an opportunity unlike any other. It is the moment when the mind is fresh, unburdened by the trials of the day, and the spirit is ripe with possibility. How you greet this morning hour will echo through every second that follows, shaping the course of your day and ultimately your life. A purpose-driven morning is not merely the rising of the sun. It is the deliberate choice to rise with intention and clarity. It is the conscious act of planting the seeds of your deepest ambitions before the distractions of the world take hold. The soul that awakens with a clear purpose moves through the day with a compass that never wavers. When you begin your morning by defining your purpose, you summon the forces of focus and energy to your side. Your thoughts become sharpened arrows aimed precisely at your goals. Your actions gain momentum and direction. You refuse to drift aimlessly or be tossed by the winds of circumstance because you know exactly what you are striving for. This practice of purposeful beginnings is the secret weapon of the most successful men and women throughout history. They understood that the mind is a garden that must be tended daily. Neglect it, and weeds of doubt and distraction will grow unchecked. Nourish it with intention, and it blossoms into a fertile ground for achievement and fulfillment. A purpose-driven morning cultivates discipline and clarity. Before the demands of the world begin to clamor, you give yourself the gift of focus. This might be a moment of reflection, a clear statement of your goals, or a simple affirmation of your commitment to excellence. These small rituals act as a beacon, guiding your every step. More importantly, such mornings foster an inner strength that becomes impervious to setbacks. When your purpose is clear, obstacles become mere stepping stones rather than barriers. Challenges lose their power to derail you because your resolve has been fortified in those early, sacred hours. Success, therefore, is not an accident but a choice made each morning. The victories you seek are born not in grand, unpredictable events, but in the quiet, steadfast habit of beginning your day with purpose and direction. This is the moment when you claim your power, set your intention, and align your heart and mind toward the triumphs that await. Let this habit be your foundation. Let every dawn be a declaration of your highest potential. And know that through such mornings you will build a life of meaning, momentum, and success beyond your greatest dreams. Gratitude reshapes perception and attracts positivity. Gratitude is a force more powerful than most understand, a secret alchemy of the mind that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. It is the light that illuminates even the darkest corners of our experience, reshaping how we see the world and, in turn, how the world responds to us. When a man or woman embraces gratitude, they are not merely acknowledging what is good in their life. They are choosing to focus their attention on abundance rather than lack. This choice, simple as it may seem, has profound consequences. It reprograms the mind to perceive opportunities where before there were only obstacles, to see lessons hidden within every challenge, and to discover blessings disguised as difficulties. Gratitude is the soil in which the seeds of success and happiness are planted. It nourishes the spirit and fortifies the heart against the corrosive effects of envy, bitterness, and despair. Those who cultivate gratitude develop a resilience that no external circumstance can easily shake. They become magnets for positive experiences and connections, attracting people, circumstances, and ideas that align with their uplifted spirit. To practice gratitude is to acknowledge that life is a gift, an unfolding journey filled with moments of joy, growth, and learning. It shifts the focus away from what is missing and toward the wealth already present. This shift in perception creates a feedback loop where the more one appreciates, the more there is to appreciate. It is a principle as natural as the rising sun, yet it must be consciously embraced to take root. The power of gratitude is not passive, it demands action. It calls for deliberate reflection each day, a conscious habit of enumerating blessings, no matter how small. It invites us to speak words of thanks, to express appreciation not only inwardly but outwardly, to those who enrich our lives. In doing so, gratitude becomes a living force that changes our inner landscape and the world around us. In the practice of gratitude, the mind becomes a fertile ground for optimism and faith. It awakens a sense of wonder and possibility that fuels creativity and courage. Challenges become less daunting because the heart is anchored in a deeper understanding that every experience, whether joyous or painful, contributes to the tapestry of our growth. Gratitude aligns us with the natural laws of abundance, sending ripples through the universe that return as increased joy, opportunity, and connection. It is the key to unlocking the door to a life filled not just with success, but with profound fulfillment and peace. The moment you begin to cultivate gratitude, you begin to change your life in ways far beyond what you could have imagined. Daily learning is the cornerstone of personal power. Daily learning is the cornerstone of personal power, a truth as unshakable as the mountains and as essential as the air we breathe. Within the mind of every great achiever lies a relentless hunger for knowledge, an insatiable thirst that drives them to seek wisdom not just once or twice, but every single day. It is this daily commitment to learning that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the fleeting success from lasting triumph. Consider the mind as fertile soil. Without constant nourishment, it grows barren and weak, overrun by weeds of doubt, fear, and ignorance. But with daily learning, the mind is cultivated, enriched, and strengthened. Each new fact, idea, or skill is like a drop of rain that revitalizes the ground, preparing it to yield a harvest far beyond what was previously imagined. The power that knowledge bestows is not merely intellectual, it is deeply practical. Knowledge arms you with the tools to overcome obstacles, the insight to recognize opportunity, and the wisdom to make decisions that steer you steadily toward your highest goals. It fuels your confidence and sharpens your intuition, transforming uncertainty into clarity and hesitation into boldness. To commit to daily learning is to commit to growth, a principle that demands persistence and humility. It requires you to acknowledge that no matter how much you know, there is always more to discover. This mindset breaks the chains of complacency and opens the door to continuous improvement. The person who learns every day steps forward with the assurance that they are building a foundation that cannot be easily shaken by the shifting sands of circumstance. Every successful leader, inventor, and pioneer understands this secret well. They make it a sacred ritual to invest time each day in acquiring new knowledge. This may take the form of reading, listening, observing, or reflecting, but the key is consistency. Even brief moments dedicated to learning accumulate into a vast reservoir of wisdom that becomes a source of power in times of challenge and decision. Moreover, daily learning cultivates adaptability, an invaluable quality in a world that is constantly changing. The mind trained to learn swiftly adjusts to new conditions, embraces innovation, and turns disruption into advantage. This adaptability is a shield against stagnation and a beacon that guides one through the unknown with courage and resourcefulness. But beyond the practical benefits, daily learning ignites the spirit. It awakens curiosity and wonder, opening the doors to new possibilities and inspiring a vision that extends beyond the ordinary limits. It connects you to a lineage of thinkers and doers who have changed the course of history through their dedication to expanding the horizons of human knowledge. In truth, knowledge is power, but power that must be cultivated day by day, habit by habit. Without the steady practice of learning, the mind grows dull, the spirit weakens, and the opportunities that once seemed within reach slip away like sand through the fingers. So, let today mark the beginning or renewal of your commitment to learning. Seek knowledge relentlessly. Feed your mind with ideas that challenge and inspire you. Let your curiosity be a flame that never dims. And as you grow wiser and stronger each day, you will find yourself equipped to conquer any obstacle, seize every opportunity, and create a life of influence and achievement beyond your greatest dreams. Emotional mastery frees you from reaction and fosters resilience. Emotional mastery is the cornerstone of true power and freedom. It is the unseen force that separates the individual who is tossed about by every circumstance from the one who stands firm like a mighty oak in the fiercest storm. To master your emotions is to claim sovereignty over your inner world, a kingdom where peace, clarity, and strength reign supreme. Every human being encounters trials, setbacks, and provocations that test the limits of endurance. Yet it is not the presence of these challenges that determines the measure of a person's success, but how they respond to them. Those who allow themselves to be ruled by their emotions are like ships without rudders, drifting helplessly upon the tumultuous seas of fear, anger, or despair. But the one who masters emotions acts with intention rather than reaction. Such a person recognizes that emotions are powerful messengers, but not commands to obey blindly. They have learned to observe their feelings as an impartial witness, discerning when to act, when to pause, and when to release the tension that threatens to overwhelm. This mastery is not a gift bestowed by fortune. It is a skill cultivated through discipline, reflection, and courage. It requires the willingness to confront one's own weaknesses, to acknowledge fears and frustrations without judgment, and to train the mind to rise above momentary impulses. In this process, emotional mastery builds resilience, the unbreakable spirit that bends without breaking, that endures hardship and emerges stronger. Resilience born of emotional mastery transforms adversity into opportunity. It allows a person to maintain calm in chaos, to see clarity amid confusion, and to act decisively when others falter. The storms of life may rage, but they do not extinguish the inner flame of those who have learned this art. Instead, each trial becomes a forge, strengthening character and deepening wisdom. This freedom from reaction liberates the mind from the tyranny of circumstances. It creates space for thoughtful choices and strategic responses rather than impulsive regrets. The individual who masters emotion understands that power lies not in controlling external events, which are often beyond one's influence, but in controlling the self, one's thoughts, feelings, and actions. Moreover, emotional mastery fosters lasting peace and fulfillment. When the mind is no longer a battlefield of conflicting feelings, energy once wasted in turmoil is redirected toward creative endeavor, meaningful relationships, and purposeful action. This harmony within oneself radiates outward, inspiring confidence, respect, and trust in others. To embark on the path of emotional mastery is to embark on the highest form of self-mastery. It is to become the architect of your destiny rather than its victim. It is to stand tall in the face of adversity, armed with the calm certainty that no external force can shake your inner fortress. Visualization aligns your subconscious with your goals. Visualization is the sacred art of painting the unseen before the eyes of the mind, a powerful discipline that forges a direct path from desire to destiny. It is the bridge between the conscious will and the hidden depths of the subconscious, a realm where thoughts take root and grow into the realities we experience. To visualize is to breathe life into dreams, to shape the future with the tools of imagination and unwavering belief. Within the mind lies an extraordinary power, far beyond what is commonly understood, a force that governs habits, emotions, and actions in ways subtle yet profound. This force is the subconscious, the silent architect that builds the framework of your life according to the instructions it receives. If the subconscious is fed images of success, confidence, and achievement, it will labor ceaselessly to manifest those visions in the waking world. But if it is given fear, doubt, or confusion, the outcomes will reflect those shadows. The act of visualization is the deliberate planting of seeds in the fertile soil of the subconscious. When you close your eyes and see yourself standing victorious, accomplishing your goals, and living the life you desire, you are sending a command to the deepest parts of your mind. This command bypasses the barriers of skepticism and hesitation that often plague the conscious mind, touching the core where belief and action are born. To visualize is not mere daydreaming or idle fantasy. It is purposeful creation. It requires clarity, detail, and emotion. The vividness of the picture must stir your heart and awaken a sense of certainty, as if the outcome is already real. The smell of success, the sound of applause, the feeling of accomplishment, these are the colors and textures that bring your mental portrait to life. The more sensory and precise your visualization, the more powerful its influence. When you practice this habit daily, you train your subconscious to recognize your goals as truths. It aligns your thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors toward those objectives automatically and without resistance. Obstacles that once seemed immovable begin to appear as mere challenges to be overcome. Opportunities present themselves with greater frequency, and your intuition sharpens, guiding you on the path carved by your own vision. This alignment between mind and goal creates a synergy, a magnetic force that draws circumstances and people into your orbit in support of your dreams. Your subconscious, no longer divided, works day and night behind the scenes to attract resources, ideas, and solutions. It sparks creativity, fosters resilience, and strengthens resolve. Even in moments of doubt, the deep conviction planted by visualization steadies your spirit and pushes you forward. The greatest achievers in history have wielded this invisible tool with unwavering faith. They understood that before any conquest in the physical world, there must be a conquest in the mental realm. To see the prize clearly and feel its reality within is to command the universe to respond. Visualization, then, is the unseen architect of success. It prepares your mind to act, your heart to believe, and your spirit to endure. Through this sacred practice, your goals become no longer distant hopes, but inevitable outcomes awaiting your arrival. Your environment profoundly influences your mindset and growth. Your environment is not merely the physical space you inhabit. It is the invisible force that shapes your thoughts, molds your beliefs, and determines the very trajectory of your growth. Like the soil that nourishes a seed, your surroundings provide the essential conditions that allow your mind to either flourish or wither. To understand the power of environment is to unlock a profound secret. The people, places, and influences that surround you are the architects of your destiny, whether you realize it or not. Consider for a moment the profound difference between a garden tended with care and a wild field left to chance. In the garden, each element is deliberately chosen, nurtured, and arranged to create a space of life and beauty. In the wild field, growth is haphazard, often stunted by weeds or harsh conditions. So too is the human mind cultivated or neglected by the company it keeps and the conditions it endures. Your environment, be it the individuals you spend your time with, the ideas you consume, or the places you frequent, acts as a mirror and a magnet. It reflects your current mindset, reinforcing beliefs you hold, and simultaneously attracts new thoughts, habits, and opportunities that either elevate or diminish your potential. This dual role makes it one of the most potent forces in your journey toward success. When you surround yourself with those who are positive, ambitious, and forward-thinking, their energy seeps into your consciousness like sunlight warming the earth. Their habits, attitudes, and language become contagious, setting a new standard for what you expect from yourself and the world. Conversely, to dwell in the company of doubt, negativity, or complacency is to invite these influences to take root within you, choking the growth of your aspirations before they have a chance to bloom. The environment also shapes your mindset by conditioning your expectations of what is possible. If you inhabit a world where excellence is the norm and where challenges are met with enthusiasm, your mind quickly adapts to believe that success is not only attainable but inevitable. On the other hand, a limiting environment breeds fear, hesitation, and a narrow vision of what you can achieve. This profound influence extends beyond people to the very spaces you occupy. A cluttered, chaotic setting fosters a scattered mind, while an orderly, inspiring environment cultivates focus and creativity. The habits and rhythms of your daily surroundings imprint themselves on your subconscious, guiding your energy either toward distraction or toward the steady pursuit of your goals. Understanding the power of environment compels a decisive choice: to passively accept whatever conditions you find yourself in, or to become an active architect of your surroundings. This means seeking out mentors who challenge you, communities that support your growth, and experiences that expand your horizons. It means curating the inputs to your mind, the books you read, the conversations you engage in, the media you consume, with the same care that a wise gardener selects the seeds for a bountiful harvest. Each day, the environment you create becomes the backdrop against which your character is forged and your dreams are realized. The subtle influence of these surroundings accumulates quietly but relentlessly, steering the course of your development in ways both seen and unseen. The wise person recognizes that growth is never merely an internal struggle, but a dance with external forces. To master the art of success is to master the art of environment, knowing when to embrace its gifts and when to remove oneself from its poisons. It is to surround oneself with those conditions that demand your best, elevate your thinking, and propel you forward on the path to greatness. In this knowledge lies tremendous power, for it reveals that your destiny is not fixed by circumstances beyond your control, but is shaped by the deliberate choices you make about the company you keep and the spaces you inhabit. The environment is not a passive backdrop to your life's story. It is a living, breathing participant in your evolution, shaping the very fabric of your mindset and the limits of your growth. Reflection and kindness enrich your character and relationships. Reflection and kindness are twin pillars upon which the greatest lives are built, silent forces that shape the depths of character and the quality of every relationship we hold dear. To reflect is to turn inward with honesty and courage, to examine one's thoughts, actions, and motives beneath the surface of daily life. It is the art of self-awareness, the moment when the restless mind pauses to discern truth from illusion, strength from weakness, and progress from stagnation. Without reflection, the soul wanders aimlessly, buffeted by the whims of emotion and circumstance. It is through reflection that a person gains mastery over self, understanding the roots of failure and the seeds of success. This practice demands humility, the willingness to confront uncomfortable truths and to learn from them rather than flee into excuses or denial. It is the crucible in which raw experience is transformed into wisdom. Kindness, on the other hand, is the outward expression of a heart refined by reflection. It is the noble act of reaching beyond the self, of extending generosity, patience, and compassion to others even when it costs something. Kindness does not weaken, it strengthens the spirit. It builds bridges of trust where suspicion once stood and fosters a climate of goodwill that nurtures growth in all who partake. Together, reflection and kindness form a dynamic cycle. Reflection deepens the understanding of oneself and others, cultivating empathy and patience. Kindness expresses this empathy through action, reinforcing bonds and inspiring loyalty and respect. The person who embodies both is like a steady flame in a darkened room, illuminating, warming, and drawing others near. Such character is forged not in moments of ease, but through trials that test the soul. It is easy to be kind when surrounded by comfort and gratitude, but it is a rare and precious virtue to show kindness amid adversity, when the natural impulse is to guard oneself or retaliate. Reflection provides the clarity and calm needed to choose kindness even when it is hardest, transforming conflict into opportunity and resentment into understanding. In relationships, reflection and kindness act as both foundation and mortar. They sustain connections over time, smoothing the inevitable rough edges of human interaction. When we reflect, we listen deeply, hearing not only words but the emotions beneath, the unspoken needs and fears. This awareness allows kindness to be more than gesture. It becomes a precise response tailored to uplift and heal. The impact of these virtues extends far beyond individual lives. They ripple outward through families, communities, and even nations. A society that values reflection cultivates leaders who are thoughtful and just. A society that honors kindness nurtures citizens who care and collaborate. The legacy of such a culture is a world where progress is measured not only by wealth or power, but by the depth of connection and the richness of character. To cultivate reflection and kindness requires intention and practice. It is a daily commitment to pause amid the rush of life, to look inward with honesty, and to choose compassion over judgment. It is the quiet strength that forms the core of true greatness, the unseen energy that transforms ordinary interactions into moments of grace and growth. The person who embraces these habits will find their character deepened and their relationships enriched in ways beyond measure. Each act of kindness, informed by thoughtful reflection, plants a seed that blossoms into trust, respect, and enduring affection. Each moment of self-examination reveals new truths, sharpening the clarity of purpose and the capacity for love. And so, we arrive at the profound truth that the greatest transformations in life are not born from sudden, monumental shifts, but from the steady, intentional cultivation of small habits, those daily choices that, when embraced with purpose and consistency, reshape the very fabric of our existence. Each habit, though seemingly humble on its own, acts as a thread weaving together the tapestry of a fulfilled and victorious life. Purposeful mornings ignite your inner fire. Gratitude tunes your mind to abundance. Daily learning sharpens your intellect. Emotional mastery steadies your soul. Visualization commands the unseen forces to serve your dreams. The environment you choose nurtures your growth. Reflection and kindness build character and deepen connection. These habits are more than actions. They are commitments to becoming the person you aspire to be, the person capable of facing adversity with courage, seizing opportunity with clarity, and living with passion and integrity. Remember, success is not a distant destination, but the sum of your habits, practiced day in and day out. The power to change your life lies within your grasp, Pen. The small, seemingly simple choices you make today. Embrace them with faith and discipline, and watch as your world begins to transform. The life you desire is not a matter of chance, but of habit. Begin now. Begin small. Begin with unwavering belief that these tiny seeds you plant each day will grow into a forest of greatness. This is your moment, your habit, your life forever changed.